Hey everyone, this is Leroy with Acaville Radio. Super happy to be talking to you right now, and I'm even more happy to be speaking with the amazing, the legendary, the talented, the phenomenal Lindsay Alford from Techapella. Lindsay, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm really excited to be here and make an Acaville debut with you.
I'm so excited. Now, I just told you this 2 minutes ago, but I'm such a fan of Techapella. I have still yet to go, and I'm begging for the chance to go this year. I think this will be my debut at Techapella. But for those who do not know what Techapella is, can you just share and express what is the heart of Techapella? What has it been? When did it start? What's the dream?
Okay, back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Techapella is a showcase a cappella concert where we have anywhere from 8 to 25 in some years different a cappella groups that have participated in this showcase. And it really started in 2013 as a joint concert between uh, Google Mountain View's a cappella group and back then just Facebook, pre-Meta, Facebook's a cappella group. So that was Googapella and the Vocal Network. We have some friends that were in both groups, and we decided we wanted to have an end of year concert. So we put it on together, and the punny name was really not working for us that day. So we just went with Tech Acapella, and that's how Techapella was born. And then people move around companies in the Bay Area and in tech. And so we ended up having so many friends that moved to different companies or started their own a cappella groups at these companies and just decided, well, we want to participate too. And it grew from there with more and more groups. And at our peak in 2019, we ended up doing 4 shows so that we could accommodate all 25 groups that wanted to participate, which was pretty
Wow.
cool. So maybe one day we'll get back there. But this year we're going to have 10 groups performing, all hailing from different tech companies. And this year we're performing at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music, which is an absolutely beautiful venue, and I'm really excited to be back there. It's been a long time.
That is 25 groups sounds one stressful to me. Sounds stressful, but the fact that you guys have such a demand and such a participation in such a community that you had to have 4 concerts is phenomenal. So congratulations for that.
Thank
And
you.
Sunday the 19th is the next showcase, right?
Correct. Sunday, October 19th, 3 p.m., Conservatory of Music in San Francisco.
Amazing. How many groups can we expect that day?
10 groups this year. So two good size acts. I think it'll be about a 2.5 hour show. So, not too long, but you'll get a good dose of a cappella magic.
Nice. Now, you say the word show, and that's something that I really appreciate about Techapella. I think a lot of festivals or a cappella just events, there's typically the main event is the competition part. People are most excited and most involved in the competition part. And something that I think has been lacking in the a cappella space is that little bit of just like heart for just performance. The heart for just like not performance for the sake of winning something or proving something, but just like, hey, let's just showcase what we've worked on
Yeah.
for however long you've been working on this music. What's the reason why you guys have gone more and just showcase world instead of competition?
That is a spectacular question, and I have two different answers for it. I mean, I think um, the personal answer I have is that I have friends in all of these groups, and that's really how this showcase started. This concert started in that we didn't want it to be a competition. We didn't want it to kind of come in on this like who's going to be better or have any hard feelings about it because we all do this as a hobby. Like we're not professional singers. We're none of our a cappella groups are paid in any way to do this. Like we really just want to show off for our friends and family and the local community. um the more I would say like professional reason, which is a funny little insight from way back in the day when we started,
Okay.
is that tech companies in Silicon Valley can be a little bit competitive, and so we didn't necessarily want to make it look like any of the tech companies were competing against each other. And so it's just a friendly, good time where Google's acapella group and Facebook's acapella group just happen to be sharing the same stage.
Fair enough. That's so true. That is so true. Okay, so is there any type of involvement with these actual companies, like the corporate side of these companies that's backing or just helping or supporting your groups?
Um, the level of involvement has changed over the years, and each group has a different level of involvement from the company that they hail from. So, as Techapella, we are not receiving as an organization any type of sponsorship or backing from any of the corporations that we hail from, but any individual group may be getting some type of support from their company, whether that is, just general, positive vibes, or anywhere from maybe their company, like their local ERGs or culture organizations within their companies, may be supporting them with things like, do we offer a music space at our companies that you can practice at, and really help form this community? Or perhaps some of them are getting support with, maybe there's like a fun budget that they're allowed to expense arrangements and sheet music. So I would not want to say for any individual company that there's a playbook that they're following, but I can say for sure that everyone's companies are generally really excited that they're able to foster this type of community, and really see a place where their employees can come together and feel seen and feel like they have a community, they have a crowd that they belong to. And I think that really goes a long way for people feeling like they belong at their company.
Wow. I mean, I gotta say, if any tech companies are listening, I heard that there's an acapella group that came from Google, and I gotta say, I started to love Google a little bit more. So if there's any motivation to put some more backing behind these groups, I say do it. I think the acapella community would definitely get behind that.
I love
That's
that. I'll pay you for that later, Leroy. Thank you.
no, really. That's I think so. The reason why I'm such a big fan of Techapella is like the definition of community, and not just the community in acapella, but it's an
Yeah,
evidence of just community in your space in the Bay Area for sure.
yeah,
The fact that different companies, you just have friends that work at these different companies, and you're just like, hey, let's just make acapella together. Let's do music together. And like, oh, we're all working in tech. Let's make a whole event where we're all working in tech and also working and loving music, and let's just do something about that. I think that's
yeah.
something really beautiful, and it's something that's like people like to separate work and pleasure a lot. And there's something refreshing to see there being an acknowledgement of work and how that work has brought connection and community, and that community has birthed art and has birthed beauty in your community. Like that's something you don't see a lot of. So that's why I'm a huge fan of Techapel and what you guys have been doing. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for allowing us to experience that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a real joy, and obviously I'm very biased here, but the stories that I get to hear from people where they will say something like, "Oh yeah, my ability to participate in this group in this a cappella group is absolutely a contributing factor to my happiness with this job
Mm,
or my retention, like how long I've stayed." And I think that's incredibly powerful because, like you said, it's not just, oh, here's a really crazy perk that the company is throwing at you, but it's, I have an opportunity to find a crowd of people, especially when you are in your adult years. Some hobbies are pretty hard to keep up with, hobbies that maybe you had when you were growing up, perhaps if you were in college or university, that just don't really exist in the same way that they do on a college campus. And so to be able to have that opportunity in a non-professional capacity, I think is really unique and incredibly valuable. And I'm appreciative of all of the companies for whatever level of support they have provided to allow these communities to flourish. Because Techapella would not exist without that level of support.
Wow. That's, I mean, just the influence that you guys have the possibility to have on the rest of, or just multiple different industries. Like the different industries that'll say, "Hey, we want to foster community in our companies. We also want to foster more retention rate in our companies of our employees staying longer. How can we do both?" And seeing what Techapella has done, I think that's something that's super powerful. So what to that question, what do you see, or what's the goal or dream, if there's any more? It could just be we're happy with what we're doing now, but is there any future ambitions for Techapella?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've had many a dream with Techapella, and it could truly go in so many different directions, and I think really add value to the lives of the singers, the lives of our communities in many different ways. Um, my answers changed post pandemic. Um, I think pre pandemic, I would have been incredibly gung ho that um, we could be a thought leader in the space when it comes to developing communities and having them flourish, whether it's within tech companies or other industries or even just within our local neighborhoods and communities. It's not that I don't believe in that mission anymore, or the value of that. I so do. But something that's really resonated with me in the last couple of years is how do I lean on experts, whether it's in my community or people I haven't met yet that I want to network with, where I think they're already doing a really incredible job of that work.
Mhm.
And what I want to do is instead of adding to that potential messiness or making it a competition. I want Techapella to be a funnel to some of the other organizations that are already doing work around music and arts education in schools,
Mhm.
building these communities within these music communities within other companies, building this opportunity for individual people to find each other and maybe form their own a cappella groups. So I have some dear friends, shout out to Robert Lee, who is doing this work with the Aca Hub and Acapella Collective,
Mhm.
and building these spaces. What I want Techapella to be able to do is um, talk about those other places and those other communities and businesses that are doing this work better than we have, and I will be that funnel for them. And if Techapella continues to be a successful concert, then how can we make sure our profits are driven directly back into these organizations that are set up more effectively to deliver results? So that's what I hope Techapella can contribute. I want us to be a funnel. I want us to be a bullhorn for some of these other amazing companies that are already delivering results.
Wow. That is really powerful, that I think a lot of um, world changers or passionate people about certain just like cares in the world can really take on, of like, you don't have to be the one doing all the work. There's some people that are in the world already doing it, and how can you contribute to what's already happening that you can get behind? I think that
Mhm.
is a powerful and very wise way to go about it. So I
Thank
commend
you.
you on that. And in 2019, you guys became a nonprofit yourselves, right?
We did incorporated as a 501c3. The pandemic was difficult to keep that going. So I will say, if anyone's thinking about incorporating as a nonprofit, learn from me. Make sure you file all your paperwork on time. But we are always looking for like what's the right way for us to operate and deliver the most value, and that means we could change how we want to show up in the business world, but what will not change for Techapella is that we are mission driven, and that mission is for our singers and for the community that these singers are in.
Amazing. So you were a big part of bringing that nonprofit to fruition. You've been with Techapella since its start, right?
I have. I performed in the inaugural Techapella concert. Yes.
Wow. So when was that shift from participant to leadership in the organization?
I moved from just singer on the stage to being, there weren't like official titles at that point, but what I will say is like co-producer of the show in 2016 and took over as the Techapella lead starting in 2017.
Amazing. Now you're CEO, right? That's what's the official
Yeah,
title.
I think the official title is executive director and CEO, but
Okay.
when you're the one that incorporates the business, you can put whatever title you want. So executive director felt a little bit more synonymous with like nonprofit, so that's what I
Uh,
went with.
you know, you can just put Queen in your title as well as executive
And you know
director,
what? I
CEO,
do have
Queen.
a crown.
That's amazing. So now, as a nonprofit, I want to make sure that everyone knows how they can support Techapella. Is there a specific way that they can support?
Right now, my favorite way is come to the show, watch the recording. We really want to make sure that if we are in a place where we're asking people for donations or any other type of support, that I can very clearly show you here's how this money is going to support Techapella as an organization, and here's how it may support other communities. So I think before I ask anybody for donations, I would like to have a clearer narrative on how I share that. So the best way to support Techapella is come to the show, support your friends that are in acapella, and I hope that post this show and in the coming year, Techapella will come out with a little bit of a rebrand that will come with some sponsorship asks.
Okay, and maybe during that rebrand, we'll see you right back here in Acaville, maybe.
I hope so. We will need some good PR around it.
Awesome. All right. Well, you heard it here first, everyone. If you want to support, go to the Acapella Showcase hosted by Techapella, San Francisco Conservatory of Music, Sunday, 3 p.m. on the 19th, right? 19th of
Yes,
October.
October 19th. Yes.
Amazing. If you live in the Bay Area, this is the place you want to go. If you don't live in the Bay Area, if you live in LA or anywhere near there, I will be most likely going. So if I'm going, you have no excuse. We can carpool maybe.
You tell them.
Yeah. All right, Lindsay, thank you so much. I'm really excited for you and the whole Techapella community. And thanks for talking to me.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.